I've never said anything racist. I've never said anything sexist. People who know me know that's not true. But as many of you have experienced in your personal lives, when you stand between a greedy man and money he feels entitled to, and that is the situation with Jason Fryer, the owner of the Lookouts. He feels entitled to a new Lookout stadium paid for by taxpayers. I was not opposed to that stadium categorically. I've said that repeatedly. I was opposed to the process. I think both mayors have rushed the process. Frankly, before we get elected, I think that was their motivation. And we knew that if we stood in the way of a stadium in any way, that we would be threatened.
The emails also show both Weston and his father, Zach, a former 3rd District congressman, pushed to get Weston a management position in the Lookouts organization in 2014. A spokesman for the Lookouts say the emails appear to be, quote, unadulterated, and source them to John Wood, a former minority owner in the team. In an interview with News Channel 9, Wamp's Democratic opponent Matt Adams says the email controversy should be assigned to voters to take a look at the differences in the two candidates.
For those of you who haven't voted, I just say, look at the marked difference between myself and my opponent. You have a lifelong public servant, and you have someone who has lived their adult life in feeling entitled to positions, entitled to politics, entitled to leadership roles. And it's not about entitlement. It's about, are you going to be that humble leader at the head of the table? So I think that people have a clear choice when Thursday rolls around, when the polls open.
Definitely was a big topic of discussion here tonight, here between Matt Adams and Weston Wamp, here both of the candidates vying for the Hamilton County mayoral race. Now, many of the focuses were also on education, transportation, and inflation, all of those correlating to the proposed project here at the old Wheeling Foundry and U.S. Pipe site, which is going to be the proposed site of the Chattanooga Lookouts Stadium. Now, Democratic challenger Matt Adams says that he's really looking forward and think this is going to be a very long-term investment for our community. However, Republican candidate Weston Wamp says that this project is creating a false dichotomy.
You want to talk about a point of contention, right?
A major project with differing views.
This thing's not going to cost what we think it's going to cost.
And we're developing it for the opportunities for every resident.
The $80 million multi-use facility is expected to bring office space, retail, and residential homes, a project Matt Adams believes the community is owed.
We owe it to our community to develop that site into something that will bring in revenue for our schools, that will bring in revenue for our community, that will allow each one of our residents in Hamilton County and surrounding counties in the entire metro area to work, live, and play.
But Weston Wamp says he's following the money.
We don't have the 5.8, nor do we have the 13.5 million in state money. And I think with a little bit of diligence, we can de-risk the thing by $20 million.
Here's the funding breakdown for the new stadium. 22% will be coming from the stadium rental fee, which is $1 million, and it increases every year.
We hear a lot about the Lookouts and their payment towards this project. The reality is the Lookouts pay a higher price in lease for the use of the stadium than any other minor league baseball team in the country. It's the largest bond-funded project our community's ever considered. It's going to vote. A couple of low-hanging fruit items. Most people I talk to, almost all the people I talk to, would feel better if the Lookouts had any money in up front. It's somewhat unusual that there's not any money in the deal from the Lookouts up front.
Now, both of these candidates agree that there is still a lot of work to be done on this new proposed project. Adams says that there really needs to be a focus on public transportation and also fixed routes to and from the South Broad District. And Weston Wamp really wants to focus on when exactly the community is going to be seeing this money and also reaping the benefits of this $80 million project.
I'm outside the Chattanooga City Council building right now where they are discussing the development of this property, and Councilwoman Burrs was the one who brought up these issues, saying that she feels right now that the project is being rushed through through since the vote would take place on August 9th. But Chattanooga's Chief Economic Development Officer Jermaine Freeman says this project hasn't been rushed. He says they just want to waive a few of the processes, including the application fee, and the application review committee, since that is essentially applying to the city itself, an unnecessary process, they say. He went on to state that the study was done back in 2018 and that they feel the time is right and they need to break ground due to pressure they're facing from the MLB.
Major League Baseball has made it very clear that if the local governments can't figure out how to provide new facilities for the Lookouts, then the Major League Baseball stands to pull the Lookouts from the market.
I'm still seeing some smoke and mirrors, and I want everything when this happens to be really solid and inure to the total community.